Surprise and good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to episode 38 of Love at First Scent with me, Persolaise, coming to you live this evening from YouTube, unannounced. So I know that a few people are going to hold it against me that I didn't trail this very much, but you may remember that in the last video I said that I would try to do more frequent brief videos in addition to the regular long form Love at First Scent videos, but that these briefer ones wouldn't necessarily always be trailed very much in advance, because I'm just going to try to do them as and when I can. If a new release arrives, a sample of a new release arrives, then and I want to share it with you straight away, and I don't want to wait until the next episode of Love at First Scent, then I will just get going and share it with you immediately without much of a preamble. In the usual way, let me just check on the old tablet and make sure that things are working fine. They seem to be. Usual rules and regulations apply. Please feel free to leave a comment, ask a question, even if you're not watching live. If you haven't happened to tune in live but you're watching after the live broadcast, please feel free to leave a comment. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Thumbs up, hearts, likes, etc. if you're watching on Facebook are very welcome. First person to get the comment is Vitali. Greetings from Stockholm. Thank you very much, as always, Vitali, for tuning in. The subject of today's video, hang on, I'm looking down here because I just want to flag up the comments. Brilliant, I've got you. The subject of today's video is going to be this. I'm afraid I cannot show it off in the full glory of its original bottle, because this is a sample that I was sent by Louis Vuitton. Lynn Smell says bonjour and bonsoir to you, Lynn. I'm assuming your name is actually Lynn, if it's Lynn who's doing the smelling. We're going to be looking at Coeur Battant from Louis Vuitton, the latest addition to their collection, which I think has been out in the UK for 6 days, and that's why your name is Lynn, brilliant. And that's why I want to try and do some of these videos more frequently, so that you're not waiting for us to have a joint sniff of them. However, before I smell it, I've been debating with myself whether to do this next bit, and I'm still really split down the middle as to whether I should do this next bit or not. But because you're always such a lovely audience, I am going to do it, but I'm going to try to keep it as succinct as possible, because I really get very cringy talking about this sort of thing. It doesn't come very naturally to me at all. But here goes. In the last few weeks and months, maybe because these YouTube and Facebook videos have been steadily growing in popularity, for which I'm extremely grateful, a few people have got in touch. Oh, hello from Tunisia, says Samar. Wow, is that the first time we've had Tunisia? Welcome to you. I should hold the tablet really so that I can see the comments as they come through. So as the videos have started attracting a wider audience, slowly but surely, more subscribers, etc., more people tuning in, more people leaving comments, a few people have got in touch to say very kindly, to say things along the lines of, we love your work, and can we support you in some way? Do you have a donate button? Do you have a Patreon account? To which my response was always, is extremely generous of you, thank you very much, but no, I don't have anything like that, because I suppose, like some people, as soon as you start bringing donations into the equation, I get a bit uncomfortable. But I must confess, it did plant a seed in my mind, and then various other things. Oh, this is a pleasant surprise, says Ashfaq. Yeah, I know, surprise, sorry, but you've been able to tune in, which is fantastic. I hope you are interested in smelling the new Vuitton. But as it so happens, without boring you with too much detail, various factors have come into play which have made me realize that maybe actually seeking support from the audience might make it easier for me to continue doing this, in terms of having the luxury of the time to do it, in terms of having the luxury of perhaps doing trips up, up to the capital to do it. So the long and the short of it, and if I'm coming across as really awkward getting this over, it is because I do genuinely feel awkward about it. I have now set up an account with a website, a service called Ko-fi, but it's spelled Ko-fi, Absolutely a great idea, says Lynn Smells. I haven't even told you what it is yet, but thank you for the preemptive strike of endorsement. I've made a page. Oh, who's that asking? Wildebeest says, "Nice top. Where's it from?" You don't have to say sorry. This is Zara. A lot of my clothes are from Zara. I know I'm terribly mainstream when it comes to clothes, but I like this too. I thought this was okay. Thank you very much. This is not deliberate, by the way. They're the kind of color match. But let me spit this out because this is turning even more agonized. I've set up an account with a service, a page called Coffee, Kofi, which basically means that on a blog post I can put a little button, or at the end of a video in the comment section I can put a little link. On my YouTube channel I can put a little link that basically says, please buy me a coffee. So the idea is that if you've watched some content that you've enjoyed, if you've read some content that you've enjoyed on the blog, if you just want to support the independence of my voice, because that's what I should have said at the beginning. I've never ever had adverts on my site. I've always been super resistant to the idea of adverts. But the idea of saying to people, if you'd like to support me, that would be great. But if you don't want to, if you can't, then that's absolutely fine too. That idea, I thought, okay, well, I can go with that. It's a little bit like what the Guardian newspaper does in the UK. They offer all of their content free online, but all of their articles come with a blurb that says, it would be really great if you could support us, but if you can't, that's fine too, and we will continue to provide the content for free. So if you ever feel so inclined to buy me a coffee, that would be absolutely amazing. I would really appreciate it, but it will not, whether you can or you can't, or you do or you don't, that there is no plan for me to change any of this. I'm absolutely not planning to have any content which is open only only to people who have supported me. I want to remain independent in that way. But from now on, if you look at my blog, if you look at these YouTube videos, you will, what's that comment that, hang on, what have we got here? I'll come back to the comments. If you see on a blog post a little button that says please buy me a coffee, or you see at the end of the video a link to saying please buy me a coffee, please don't be surprised. If you feel like ignoring it, ignore it. If you feel like sending some virtual caffeine my way, that would be great. Whew. Was that okay? Was that all right? Did I not go on too long? 7.5 minutes saying please support me is a bit too long. I think we need to get on with the perfume. So let's bring some of the comments up that I may have missed. Absolutely great idea, says Linz. Thank you very much. Ashfaq says, I try not to miss the work of a wordsmith in the best possible sense like yourself. The more the merrier. That's very kind, thank you. Oh, and when Lynn said, Jodie, you meant coffee. Okay, Kofi. I think if you Google it, if you Google Kofi, you'll find it. But of course, I can't link to it right now. I'll have to link to it after this live stream is concluded and uploaded. Come on, play ball, please. Comments. Thumbs up from Lynn Smells. Arkadyusz says, finally caught the live stream. Hello from Niš, Serbia. It's pronounced just like niche. Fantastic. Was it niche? Maybe it's because I'm thinking if it's a little bit like the Polish, but we'll say niche because you said niche. Dream of Me No More says, have you seen copycat fragrances being advertised on Facebook? No. Do you mean like clones of other fragrances? No, I haven't. What do you mean? Anyway, thank you very much for your patience there. I may have to go on about that just a little bit more in some other videos and blog posts just to get the word out. But for now, let us have an initial sniff of this. The new Louis Vuitton, which is called Coeur Battant, which I think just means beating heart. I will try to... I can see the link from the Persolaise blog, says Ashfaq. Yes, it's there, and it'll probably be at the end of all the blog posts now. I think it means beating heart. I will do my awkward pose for thumbnail, but, you know, the lab sample. Still, I guess, you know, pretty pink roses in the background. Let's smell it. The Vuitton range, I think, is quite solid. There are definitely some that I like more than others. They arrived with quite a lot of fanfare a few years ago, all of them made by Jacques Cavallier, so he's their exclusive nose now. I like some very much. My mind has gone blank and I can hardly remember any of their names, but there was one that I think was called 1000 something, which was supposed to reflect fireworks, champagne bubbles, and I thought it worked really well. I thought their oud was okay. I thought some of their masculines were fine. I haven't yet had a chance to try the ones that have come in those super saturated color bottles. I think there's meant to be a cactus one, so whether they were summer scents or not, I'm not sure. I didn't get a chance to try them. But let us try this. The new Vuitton, only been out a few days in the UK, on episode 38 of Love at First Scent. What is this going to be? This is always, I've been doing this for ages now, still a nerve-wracking moment. Right, let's see. What is the forehead saying to you today, Ashfaq? Hang on. I missed comments. Oh, Dream of Me No More says, it's a company that clone fragrances. Yes, I would really like you to review one or two. Why? I don't know. You mean to see if they're good clones? I don't know. I'm not interested in that so much. But you tell me why you think it would be interesting for me to review them. Lynn Smell says, yes, nod from Grumpy Beating. Oh, yeah, okay. Ashfaq, on a lighter note, can I send you some decants that I know for sure you'll have some quality time? Send me an email. But thank you for the offer. Mille, yes, that was the one. I thought that one worked very well. This is... Okay, there's no point beating around the beating heart. It comes across as super commercial. What was that? Yes, but I understand why you might find it a loathsome task, Dream of Me No More. Well, is there any way you can send me a link to their thing, in an email? Or you can reach me at persolaise@gmail.com. This feels like a very, very mainstream, very commercial, fruity floral, with the requisite musks in the base, of course, but done quite well. Ashfaq says the forehead seems indecisive. Yeah, the forehead is indecisive. I tried Gabrielle Essence. It's okay, says, I did miss that, Evolutionists, what's that? Evolutionists. I tried Gabrielle Essence, it's okay, however, was impressed with, was that the rest of your comment? Please don't leave us hanging in suspense. Was impressed with the staying power. Oh, okay, yes, yeah, that's a fair comment, I think. This is, okay, it doesn't reinvent the wheel at all. I'm not sure it would set my heart beating. But it feels like because they have pumped quite a bit of money into their perfumes. It feels like maybe somebody somewhere said, let's do something that's extremely popular, but maybe do it with a little bit more quality. But it's not terribly exciting. The fruit, I'm thinking sort of orchard fruit, maybe tart apples, pears. It's funny because the other day, not that long ago actually, I smelt Jean-Claude Ellena's Jardin sur le Toit for Hermès, which actually has one of the most fantastic pear and apple openings ever. It's wonderfully, wonderfully rich, evocative. Never feels fakey, and this not quite so successful. And why? Always those shampoo musks in the base. Okay, let's see how it moves on. Don't forget that I always do a blotter update, but there is a press release, so let's give Vuitton their due and let us find out what they would like us to get out of this. Oh, look, it's a picture of a pear sliced in half. Since 2016, travelling has set the tone for Vuitton's olfactive creations. In this adventure, the rush of departure matters more than the destination. It is a journey towards the unknown, towards our most intimate emotions, culminating in the rediscovery of oneself. Today, the journey continues. Coeur Battant is a celebration of that singular breath of vital energy, the spark that drives us and makes it possible to live each moment with intensity. This is kind of the spark that doesn't want to be particularly sparky and wants to say, please don't let me stand out too much. Although I suppose it's got a certain amount of fizz to it. Coeur Battant pulses in unison like the heartbeat for which it is named. Pulses in unison with what? You can't just pulse in unison by yourself, can you? Or have I missed the meaning of the word unison? Made with exceptional raw materials, of course. It magnifies the grandiosity of nature and joins What's that? Seems the forehead has already decided. Yeah, maybe. And joins the first 9 perfumes in the collection, conceived and composed in Jacques Cavallier's creative atelier in Grasse, just a stone's throw from fields of flowers, yada yada yada. This majestic woody floral occupies its own place in the emotional cartography of the Maison's creations. Oh, Reza says, tuning in after a long time. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Very kind. There is, even if one leans in, the emotion of the world's very first. Sorry, I can't say this with a straight face because I've seen it. Okay, let's try that again. No, let me read the whole sentence. Within Coeur Battant beats the paradox of soft opulence that lives between freshness and sensuality. There is, even if one leans in, lean in, the emotion of the world's very first dawn. Okay, the world's very first dawn. You know, there's hyperbole, and then there are perfume press releases. It doesn't stop there. Anyone who has bitten into a delicious, juicy pear will recognize that frisson of voluptuousness that runs right through the body. Ooh, what kind of pears have you been having? This is why Jacques Cavallier chose a note of cool, crisp pear as his perfume's preface, which is elegantly prolonged by ambrette seed that leads it toward the horizon. Okay. And then suddenly, a magical molecule, cascalone, projects the pear into a cascade of freshness on the skin. That's a synthetic that's being used a lot. It is still talking about the fragrance, so let's just carry on a little bit longer. Jacques Cavallier thrives when he sculpts materials to his own desires, playing with the constant contrast between darkness and light, freshness and sensuality. Coeur Battant honors Egyptian jasmine, the living soul of perfume, a sensual, radiant flower whose freshness he manages miraculously to preserve endlessly. One too many adverb there, and maybe I'm just tired after a long day of work. Whose freshness he manages miraculously to preserve endlessly. Very good. Jasmine's humid. They said humid. Oh no, moist is the word. Sorry. Humid is almost as bad, isn't it? Jasmine's humid note becomes even richer with the appearance of narcissus, a wildflower with green and animalistic facets. A sheep base of pure patchouli and moss elegantly illuminates the perfume's generous floral heart, revealing other animal facets that don't necessarily offer themselves up freely at first encounter. No, they play hard to get. They're not cheap dates like that pure patchouli. All of the perfumer's olfactory grammar is here. The interplay of contrasting ingredients leads to a pure line, presumably like the pureness of the patchouli. A clarity of composition that makes his signature so distinctive and instantly recognizable. Oh well, somebody's given us a bit of a laugh with that press release that manages to say so much and yet nothing at all. I want to see some of the comments because here we go. Evolutionist said, I personally think there's more focus on packaging and bottles today. Most are short-lived and generic. Yeah, discuss. We could talk about that for ages. Ashfaq says, I need a gift to express my emotion. Bless. What was the bless to? Was it the dawn? This is getting into Zoolander levels of conceptual marketing, says Wildebeest. Yeah, you know, I've yet to see that. Film buff that I am, I haven't seen that. Dream of Me No More Dawn, as witnessed by a few single-celled organisms for whom it was a very emotional experience. Listen in and you can hear an amoeba cry. Is writing comedy gags one of your sidelines, Dream of Me No More? Can you imagine a good one? Just smell this and somewhere an amoeba is going, sunshine. Ashfaq says, it's like that Terre Terre you did with Terre d'Hermès. I can't remember that. You lot have got a much better memory for that kind of thing. Wildebeest says, I'd like to think the first one would smell a bit like a fish tank, given the algae, given that the algae was all that was alive. How much is this? Says Lynn, cut straight to the chase. The price information isn't on the press release, but they're not cheap, these things. They are not cheap. Lots of thumbs up and smiles. And no, I haven't seen Zoolander, sorry. Sorry remix, it started with a beating heart and it went flatline. Boom, very good. I'll tell you what, I don't know what you've got out of this video, but you have all cheered me up no end. And thank you to so many of you for tuning in with like 0 notice. I think there was 15 minutes notice on Instagram. We need to wrap this up. So, do you know, it sounds a bit like Champs-Élysées, but with patchouli. Yes, maybe. Do you know what? I need to smell that again. I haven't smelled that for years. I wouldn't even know whether it's like the original one anymore. I mean, one of the most maligned of that particular brand's perfumes. It's very diffusive. It's not unlike Gabrielle Essence in the sense that it's quite safe, but it has to be said, a fairly decent quality. I mean, but everything is innocuous. Everything is clean. So you know the patchouli doesn't have any earthiness at all. Maybe that's what they mean when they say pure. Maybe what they actually mean is the complete opposite. You know, sort of been messed around with endlessly, miraculously endlessly. Narcissus, maybe, yes. I mean, it is a fairly generic. Oh, have you seen the Fragrantic article about niche houses, which they call the artful dodgers? No. Should I? I guess I should, because you're asking me about it. I will check it out. Soon it will appear on the horizon of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Oh, I went to the Kubrick exhibition. No, let's not go there. There's an amazing Kubrick exhibition in London that I think maybe finishes tomorrow, if you haven't seen it yet. Oh, it's at the Design Museum. That is genius. This is something somewhat disappointing, very pedestrian, made by a genius. Because Jacques Cavallier is fantastic. I mean, he has given us so many superb perfumes. This one will probably not go down in history, but it may do well. And if that means that he can then spend some time and effort being more creative with the rest of the line, then that's how this particular olfactory cookie crumbles, as so many of us know. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in. There will be links to the various things I mentioned at the beginning of the video. There will be links once the video has been uploaded, and I will post them at the, in the description of the video below the video. Let's think of another sentence in which I can say at the end of the video. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you. I really like Orage and Ombre Nomade. Yes, I seem to remember thinking that Orage was interesting. I think I reviewed it, and there was certainly one of them that was quite surprising. It did a few unexpected things. So, you know, as a range, I'm not going to love all of them, and this is by no means terrible. Thanks for a fun review. No, thank you. Seriously, thank you. Have a nice day, everybody. And coffee. Yes, well done. Until the next time, coming up potentially, we may have the new version of Twilly from Hermès, the new Mals. I'm still trying to get hold of the Rose and Cuir. But until then, stay tuned for the blotter update. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. And that's it. Thank you very much. Bye.